Welcome to the right renovation. Keep motivated and stay on board.
So it's Tuesday morning, with a bank holiday day off, so long weekend. So today we're on to the second bedroom. The goal for today, I'd like to think, is on all this wallpaper stripping off. All four walls. I'm gonna have the skirtings off. These skirtings don't look too bad in comparison. I think they're already hanging off. Yeah, they are, look. So they're not going to take much taking off. So we're going to have all them off. And we're back on the radiator saga. You can see in there. Probably not as bad as the others. But yeah, they need taking off. And you can see it's yellow. It's a bit knocked about, this one. So I may have to sand it with some fine sanding paper. Get my little sander out. And give that a sand up, see if we can make a good one of that. The socket there, only one side works. It's dodgy. I'm going to replace that, but I've bought a nifty thing in my last house where you can convert a 2-socket to a 4-socket, like a box with 4 sockets on, and it screws into the original back box. I'll show you that when I put it on. The window ledge don't look bad at all. I think it's had a bit of a battering here and there, but I think with a bit of sanding, that one will come up okay. So as I said, to finish the big bedroom, all I've got left to do in there is put the window board on. I'm going to strip as much wallpaper off as I can, then I'm going to nip off to Wickes and get that window board, and I'll show you how we're going to put that on. Just going to cut it to the size of the one that's on, just to cover it and seal it up. But my goal is, it's 8:15. I'm going to get ripping all the top paper off first, like I always do, then get the sprayer out and start spraying it. Once I've got the skirtings up, I think I will probably take the flooring up, so that'll be a trip to the tip tomorrow. So that's the goal for today. Like I say, set your goals out, try and get motivated. Let's see what we can achieve today. Say keep motivated. Today we've got to step that motivation up just that little bit more. That you saw that probably on the time lapse, how quick that come off, because it's on time lapse, but just come off really clear, come off in sheets, so easy. This wallpaper that's on the rest of the room, it's a nightmare. It's like a wood chip, and it's been painted and painted, which I thought would work in my favour, but it's really difficult to get behind. Old Faithful had to swap up for the rigid Purdy. I tell you something, if you want a decorating tool, these are really good because they're really sturdy. You can pull nails out with this bit. I'm not sure what they all do. You can even got a bit of a bottle under there, but it's nice having a pointed edge because you can get in the grooves. It's got a really good chamfered blade on it. They're really good. They're well worth the investment, and they're not that much. But I tell you something, they're good sturdy. I've had this 2 or 3 years. Scraper still looks like new. So yeah, invest in one there. But yeah, we need to raise the motivation a little bit today to get under there. I've got it all off that wall bar around the socket, as you can see, and the radiator. So the next job is, let's have that radiator off. Let's pray the valves close, because I'll take it off and it'll blast everywhere. So we'll see. But I'll show you how to do that, because I think I've showed you before. But they're quite high, the radiators, which is good because I can get my bowl under it. So I won't fetch my bowl, go and get my spanner. I'll just show you basically how to drain, turn off the valves, drain it, lift it off. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's get the radiator off. What we need to do first of all is switch these valves off. All got like a little spade end on. Try and remember how many turns it takes to turn these off as well, full turns, because radiators are balanced. It's a little bit complicated, but go and see James on Plumber Parts about balancing your radiators, but they should be balanced. If they're all working all right, before you do any of this, you should know. See, that is like one turn open. To me, that doesn't seem much at all. This should be open a lot more than that. Thermostatic valve this side. Let's turn that all the way off to 0. Like I say, the one in the bedroom there, I turned it off to 0. Yeah, I switched all them off. That just blasted out water even though it was switched off. So I'm hoping this one works okay. So get that set to 0. So that should stop any water flowing up through there and any water flowing up through the other side. from the pressure from the boiler. Should just be nipped up, so that's all they need to be. So we're gonna slightly loosen it. As you can see, there's water coming out already. What we do need to do is the famous bleed screw. Remember when we put this back on to tighten it up first. So if we do that, okay. What happens then is air's sucked in there, obviously, because if that's shut, it creates a vacuum. If the bleed screw is open, you can hear it sucking air in, which will help release the water there. Kind of be patient with this, you can try and rush it a bit. Obviously make sure the water's going in there. The more we open this, the more air goes in, the faster it'll come out. Sludge at the bottom. You can probably see a bit coming out now. We'll do his routine of flushing the radiator out. Crikey, what the hell? There's all that lot. Okay, wow. Now that's a collection. Some of the things you find, let's see what little treasures we've got. The Justice League, not in there. We've got many a wrapper. Got a bit of a fork, vape, spoon, top of a pen, variety of wrappers. Okay. Suppose you have to watch how much paper stuff you have to go down the back of these, because they do get hot, the radiators, but probably not enough to ignite. But that is a good collection. Not seen a collection that good for a while. Okay, so we've got FIFA 21, PS4. I've got PS4. Oh, it's in the Call of Duty Black Ops. And I've got a tablet, an Apple iPad. It looks a bit worse for wear. Interesting to see if that works. I should imagine the battery's flat now, but yeah, the screen looks a bit worse for wear. I'll stick that on charge a bit later, we'll see if it works. What else we got? Horrid Henry the movie. Oh, Assassin's Creed 2, Xbox 360. I wonder if they lost these and wonder where they'd ever gone. And then we've got the Amazing Spider-Man video. I don't know if there's any other goodies down the back of there, but hey, oh, we've still got some stuff on the back of here. What do you think to that? So we'll have a clear up. I'll get the rest of this off, clear all this crap out of the way. I'm going to bang these skirtings off that are here. See, we've got a nice join again here. Can you see that join? Not the best. We'll try and make it work like we did with the others, so they don't look too bad getting filled. But it don't look in too bad a condition, so I think we can work with it. What I might do this time, because these don't look too bad, these brackets, how they've been put on, is I'll leave the raw plug in and I'll put a screw in it so I know where they are, and then we can just drop them straight back on, and then when we've got any messing about or measuring or anything like that. I've noticed one of these is missing. You know, I said you've got to have these on so your radiator sits properly, doesn't tick when it gets hot. There's one missing. It might be in this rubbish somewhere. So the joys of doing up a new house. But right, let's get this cleared up. I'll stop waffling and boring you now. We'll get tidied up and see how we go on. Okay, so radiator off, skirting's off. There's a few more DVDs behind there actually. But look what happened there. Pull the skirting off, all the wall came off with it. This is still a bit loose there. So that is going to require quite a huge patch up. Might have to get some bonding or repair plaster for that. PVA the wall first, so it gives it something to grip to. This is what happens when you buy these renovation houses. You just never know what's behind the wallpaper, skirtings or anything. It could be anything. But you have to roll with the punches and get on with it. That's 2 walls stripped, skirtings off there. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whip to wicks to get my windowsill, come back, strip the rest of the walls, get the rest of the skirtings off, and then we'll look at spraying the walls to get all the backing paper off. Hopefully that'll be my goal for today. Let's see how we go on. So I came up with a plan. I cut a piece of board in the square there. I used my multi-tool with a diamond cutter on the end, just diamond cut blade. Went up around plaster. That's where all the loose-ish plaster was. And I went to the bottom of the socket. I put my board in, then I cut a gap for the metal protector that covers the wires, which will cover that from the socket to the skirting board, and slotted the 2 pieces of board in. And all I've got to do now is do a bit of filling and a bit of skimming on that. Not going to do that now though. Obviously there was the Wago connectors I was telling you about. They're just clips that lift up, you push the wires in, clip them down, and they hold them perfect. They're safe as houses, and they'll isolate them joints, and you can use them for joining wires as well. That's another time. I'm not going to move the socket, decided against that. I'm going to try and straighten it up though before we get to doing anything, because it looks like it's slightly leaning down. So we'll tidy that up, because it's no worse than a crooked socket. That's held us up today. What I think I'll do, I'm going to try and get this back wall done. So we'll shift my clothes rails out, and I'm going to get to stripping that lot off. Okay, so we've just took the skirting off that side, and the walls fell to bits. We just pulled the skirting off and it all just fell off. So we're going to have to do a bit more patching up in that area. Things are sent to try you. All the walls stripped of top paper. You must be seeing there's a bit of a routine now when we do these rooms. Strip the wallpaper, top, then bottom, sand the walls, fill the walls, sand the walls, fill the walls. If you want to paint them. Got some stripe wallpaper to go from there to there. And I bought it from Bernardo's, can you believe it? £1.50 a roll, there was 3 rolls of it. But they always have like electrical sockets for £1, or wallpaper, or just lights and stuff like that, dead cheap. And they're all in really good condition, most of them. I've used loads. I've got some in the garage that I'm probably going to put up here. There's 3 spotlights are in here because it's a bit of an office. And I've just took the skirting off, just there. And what have we got this time? We've got a CD-ROM. No idea what to do on that. Pencils. Tell you what I've found in this house. I call it the 5p house. Everywhere you go, there's 5 pences, but here's one, look. Here's a 10 pence. Here's a 2 pence. Here's a 1 pence. It all might so and another 5 pence. Every skateboard's had money under it. Hello, we've got a cigarette there. What's that? I've got my glasses on. Good grief. I wonder if that's still smokable. Got a pencil. Not a lot else. Loads of air bubbles. Laser mugs down the back of a skateboard. I was amazed with me. What have I got down this one? Nothing. Bit of a straw or something. And at least the wall has stayed a little bit intact here. The window board's good on here. Oh, there's a bit of paper there. What do you reckon, folks? Keep it or change it? Good old draft comes through it, so it's good for the circulation. I mean, it's not hugely bad. Well, it's sand. Did I show you the door? Let's have a look how we're standing with the door. Okay, so reasonable at the top. We've actually got a square door frame at the top. It's not sloping. The door's a funny shape. Big gap at the bottom there, small gap at the top. So if I was to crank the door that way a bit, we'd have a bigger gap down there. So that's going to be something we play with the hinges. But on the whole, compared to the others, that's not bad. I mean, the door's not even bad. On the grand scheme of things, that's going to be a doddle, and it's not been glossed. It feels like it's had an undercoat. Some of the other sides have plenty of gloss on. But I mean, we're going to struggle to get rid of some of them. marks, but I will sand it down best I can. You can't really fill them because they're not deep enough. So the only way you do is sand round them and so it like divots, but I think we got away with it on that one. Yeah. Crappy hinges on, we'll put 3 hinges on that. Not too bad, so you can see the routine of how we do it. It's coming together, isn't it? I'm not going to touch the skirtings yet, you know the routine, they'll come out and get put to one side for now. I think I'll get my sprayer out and have an hour spraying and getting this this bottom coat of paper off and see what we're playing with the walls. And the roofs do look worse before they get better. Keep motivated and stay on board. As you've probably seen on the time lapse, that's all of it done. I got the bit between my teeth and I thought, I don't want to be spraying walls again tomorrow and having all the wet. Let's crack on and get it all done. Now, how bad are these walls? It's not good, it's not good, people. I know I'm going to wallpaper some of it, so I'm thinking, that's quite a good wall actually. That's probably the best out of the lot. This wall is terrible. It's got that horrible paint on again, as you can see, but it's... I've either got to sand all that off or try and smooth it. Pain and what this thick green stuff here. I'm going to wallpaper that wall and that wall. And then I'm going to have that wall and the back wall white. Got a bit of graft down there to get that right. I've took my boards out for now. And get that wall right. It's had a big plastering job there for some reason in that corner. That's additional and it's not flush. So I don't know whether plastered it. It's left a lip, which is what I had last time. I had to scrape it and then sand it. So I think that's the plan. So tomorrow, I'm gonna let all this dry out now. I've picked all my crap up. This gluey stuff, put it straight in a bag. Don't even hesitate about leaving it all over the floor because it'll be all over your trainers, which is not on mine, look. You would trample it around the house or whatever. It's horrible, especially when it dries. It'll be on your trainers forever and your carpets forever. So as soon as you peel it off, bin it and keep on top of it as you're doing it. And you won't go far wrong. I've just looked at my watch, it's 4:45, so I've actually run over. We set a goal, it was to get all this stripped off. It's stripped off. We've made provisions down there to mend that wall. We've put the windowsill on. Shame I didn't have any white sealant, but I'll rectify that tomorrow and we'll seal that up. So tomorrow I think I'll have the floor up, take it to the tip. I need to pay some attention to the ceiling. I'm not sure what these spots are on it. Looks like they're actually, look like paint bubbles that have burst. It's weird. I may have to use a bit of stain block, but I need to get up there and sand that. Well, I've got a sander on my pole and I find my radial sander that I thought I could never find. That'll be good to use on there as well, so I'll show you that tomorrow. So we'll get the ceiling sanded. I'm going to attempt to sand the walls that we're going to paint, which is that wall and that wall. I'm waffling like a good one now, but please join me tomorrow. And we'll carry on with this bedroom. So that's bathroom done, big bedroom done, onto the office bedroom. And then next after that will be the stairs, hall and landing. We're going to strip all that and paint it. And then I'll have to move all the stuff out in the SHIT room. And we'll do that. That's a bit smaller than this room, so it should be easy, But we'll see. Anyway, please join me tomorrow. Remember, keep motivated and stay on board.